What if I told you you'll never have to deal with objections ever again? I wish that was true, but I can show you a better alternative to handling these. I think there are too many word tracks and scripts on how to do this that is old, outdated, and will not work long term. Let me show you how to do it properly. This is one of our head coaches, Cole. He probably does about 20, 30K a month on a dating offer. He is probably one of the smoothest closers I've ever met in my life. Super intelligent, almost like a philosopher, psychologist, met like dating coach, freaking just an awesome guy. And so, take a look at this. I promise you, you will take a different perspective when jumping into handling objections after watching this.
In this age demographic and with the work that we do with the guys in your particular situation, we have the psychology portion. You'd have the implementation section, so the 8 hours of each, so 8 hours of Q&A, 8 hours of flirting, and then also 4 one-on-ones. That would simply be one payment of $29.75. So $3K, that covers the full enrollment for the 8 weeks. There's no recurring fees or anything like that. And we work with you week by week to build your confidence and do all this.
Sure. I mean, that sounds good. If I do it though, it won't be this year because it's the holidays. I know you said yes or no. I would rather wait till February or somewhere around February the 1st.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I completely get that and stuff.
Okay.
And what about why in particular would you wait for something like this? Because we did go over that a little bit, where it's holiday season. A lot of guys will use that as an excuse. It seems to be something that's important. Is it really just a concern where it's like you want to make sure you get the most out of the program and you're worried that you'll miss some sections or stuff like that?
Yeah, like how does that work? Because like this month I have to go to DC for some training for a week, and then after that I'm going home for Christmas. So like I definitely didn't want to start in December. What would that be like if I'm work schedule versus doing this?
For sure. It really only benefits you if you really like the program, everything like that. If anything, it extends it, so you get more value out of doing it now versus later. Reason being is you'll get instant access to the curriculum, and then you can still have one-on-ones. You can still jump on a Q&A call here and there, but you would just break it down a little bit. So it's like maybe this week I have a little bit more time, so you can actually get started with the curriculum, jump on a Q&A call, stuff like that. But then if you're traveling a couple weeks from now, you just let us know, and then we're still able to give you those sessions. So you're still able to get momentum. You'll be traveling, meeting people, so you can still apply things. And then in January or whatever kind of date you have more, then you're like, okay, like this is when I'm going to do these other sessions. And then you're able to add those on. So you're extending it out because it sounds like you do want to make this change. It's important to you. And if it's a thing of like, oh, like I just want to make sure I get the most out of the program, this would allow you to actually extend it. So you have more of a fundamental knowledge, and the sessions, like you always get what you pay for there. So you won't miss any if your schedule clicks there. Yeah.
So one good thing that he did, I will say, a lot of people will hear like, oh yeah, I don't want to start till December or February, whatever he said. And they'd get a little resistant themselves as closers, right? It gets a little abrasive. It's like, here we go. But one thing that Cole did, he didn't falter. You didn't see a change in energy. His tonality didn't shift. He didn't get frustrated. He's like, yeah, I mean, I totally get that, but, and then dove right into it. And then he voiced his concern, right? The prospect voiced his concern there. Like, timing, which is all BS. You can kind of just tell he's just trying to make an excuse for timing. But Cole recognizes that. I do think, and I think Cole is our head coach. He's amazing. There's still some things that even he can improve on, even when he's doing 20, 30K a month. And so when somebody asks you a question, for example, like, okay, well, how would I do this? The shorter the response, especially after pitching, the better, right? Because people will assume in the positive with the less that they know. Meaning, like, if you ever, I don't know, you're at an airport and you see someone from a distance and you think they're super attractive, right? And then you get a little closer and you're like, oh, whoa, not as attractive as I thought, right? I'm sure that had to happen to all of us, at least even when you were kids, right? I mean, anyway, but all that to say, it's the same kind of concept when like you don't see the entire picture. You'll just be, oh yeah, it is someone who's attractive, right? And then you get closer and you're like, oh, whoa. Same thing with information. The less that we know, the better. And so he did explain a little excessively on how he could actually make this work with his routine and schedule. Not super excessively, but it's a lot, because a lot of us will think that saying a lot will add a lot of value, but actually devalues you. It wasn't too much, but still, like small change he could have made.
And you can do the 101.
Mind you, this is on like 1.2, 1.4. I think it's 1.2 speed. Let me check. Yeah, 1.25. That's a long pause. If you saw after he answered and he paused in between, that pause is power.
Practice with the wing girls after work, like after 5. Are they available during that time?
Yep.
Power. Again, another one. You see, that's what I mean by short responses. That is like perfect, where it's like, oh, and so you guys do this? Yeah. In silence. Let it sit. Let it hit. Great stuff.
Okay. Is there anything else you wanted to tell me about the program, or is that everything?
That's everything. That's the full thing.
Okay.
Short response. Silence.
Yeah. All right. I want to start in January or somewhere around that time.
Okay.
So again, second time, he said he's wanted to extend this, right? You can sense the uncertainty. Like, I think if you're really, really paying attention here, you can feel there's just this wall, this resistance. There's still something. And a lot of closures will buy into the BS. But what do we need to uncover? And if you really look at this as you are helping the other person on the other side of that call, then you will be doing them a disservice by leaving this person and letting them get off that call without figuring out what it is they need help with. What's putting that wall right in front of them? Cole does a great job at this.
I want to start right now.
Okay.
How do I do that?
For sure. Yeah, we can plan that out and stuff. It would be just something that we coordinate together. But yeah, money aside, start date aside, all of that. Obviously, all of that's important and stuff. But really, what we're looking for to like make sure we can help you, like, is that commitment kind of to the program. Like, so if you did have the resources and the time set aside, is this something that you feel like would truly help you and like be that thing that would help you find that person that you're looking for?
Yeah, I know it'll help. Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
And why
Especially
is that?
The 101 practice with the wing girls.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the main thing. Q&A session, their perspective.
Yeah. So it is something you like truly want to do. You're just wanting to make sure that you get the most out of it.
Yeah. Now the last masterclass I watched, Marnie.
Okay, this is high level stuff. So Cole is on his way to isolating what the real objection was. Right? So money aside, time aside, resources. He wants to make sure he understands exactly like two things. One, that he believes that this can get him to his goal, and that there isn't any other uncertainty that he does not see that isn't in the obvious, that is out of his control. And now we're getting to the objection, because he's going to say, the last masterclass he saw, and now he's voicing something that we don't know. So let's see what he says.
Had someone on there who isn't a wing girl. She was like a guest on her show.
Mm-hmm.
And the first, I don't know, 20 minutes, she was just talking about the right timing to set up a date or get their number or whatever. And and then that was good. But after 20 minutes, my attention span kind of started dwindling. Yeah. And that kind of makes me think maybe this isn't for me to help me grow. Mm-hmm. But the one-on-one practice is, I think that's better.
Oh, for sure. Well, yeah, I mean, I think I know who you're talking about. I mean, she did like one video course with us kind of thing. So it's not, she's not like a teacher here kind of thing. Yeah. So we have a lot of different perspectives and stuff. So that's the cool thing. Marnie has probably over 40 master classes and stuff with different people. So if there's not one that's resonating with you, that's completely normal, because some of these teachers teach different ways. And then you always have Marnie's perspective. You have over 15 hours of actual Marnie's perspective. And then you're right. Like a lot of this, you'll lose attention span, but that's why we have the one-on-ones, is to make sure that you apply it.
Okay.
That you like truly change.
Now I thought about just, I wish I still haven't even really touched the F formula a whole lot. I thought about just going through all of that first and watching more master classes before I committed to this. Mm-hmm. That was my initial thought. I don't want to.
For sure. No, guys
Yeah.
always. Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, guys always have that thought. It's super common, and it makes rational sense. It's like, oh, let me complete this thing, and then complete this thing, and then complete this thing. That's not the issue, I don't think, kind of respectively, because you've been following Marnie for a while. You've digested some of the information. The information's helping you. What's really blocking you is that shift of actually taking action, making sure you have the accountability, the courage to like keep these promises to yourself and actually break those habits. So the knowledge is great. It gives you a little perspective shift, but the knowledge is only great when it actually gives you that perspective shift that actually leads to behavioral change that gets that woman in front of you. So this is completely different. This is making sure that
Oh,
you
okay.
still use this and still use that knowledge. That you're still will be applying the F formula, all of that, but making sure we apply that to your life so that you meet this woman, you meet her faster than you thought was possible, and actually build that connection with her.
Man, you hit the nail on the head, man. You said everything that I don't even know yet. Like, what's
Yeah,
holding me back? I can't even get it out. You just already said it. Yeah, you're right.
of course, man. So yeah, I've been in the same position and stuff. I'm still learning like all of this stuff, but I go on so many of these calls. And guys will just have these kind of things that they use or whatever to like protect themselves from that change because their identity is so strong in the way that they view talking to women. So that's really what this is to do is like with the wing girls, break out of those habits, like really change things up so that going into this new year, you can really find that person. And like, you might later today, like walk outside and bump into that person kind of thing and making sure that you don't miss those opportunities so that you can be with her. Because one thing I say too is like we can really build you up to be like a Casanova, have you just be like dialed in so many levels. But also one thing too is like you only need to take away one thing from this because you're only one relationship away. You're only one relationship away from actually like finding this girl and connecting with her. So if there's only, one thing we shake in your mind that actually helps you do this and you actually end up having a girlfriend that you have for the next 5, 10, 20 years that like shapes your life, that you have all these beautiful experiences with, then this will be worth it for you and stuff. So the return is really infinite with it when we just tweak and open up the possibilities for you.
Okay. So you saying why wait? Start now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, like I said, I am kind of a little busy right now. But sure, let's do it.
Love it. Okay.
So I think it was about 4 or maybe even 5 times that he had some type of wall, resistance, objection. The biggest thing you can take away from Cole here is how consistent his energy was. Neutral the entire time. Never faltered, never let it bother him. Absolutely nothing. There was no shift in energy. That is the number one thing because too many people, they start off their call up here and they get to the end of the objections and they're handling this objection and they're down here because they're being assertive and aggressive and super assertive. But Cole, if you watch his discovery and the way he handles objections, it's very, very constant. It's this neutral energy where it's almost careless. Now, the biggest thing you can take away from what Cole did here was he challenged his limiting belief, right? When he finally isolated his objection after his concern of, that one podcast host who, he wasn't really interested or whatever he said, that he lost his attention span. Cole validated his concern and almost used it in a way that served him. But then when he was like, I want to go to the continent side, blah, 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 he challenged that belief and told him the other side that he needed to hear. That's what closers do. They push them into the direction that is actually going to benefit him. Now, you can tell the way Cole did it, he genuinely cared, and it was in the prospect's best interest. Those two things alone is why Cole is so good. He cares about the people on the other side of these calls, but he positioned it in his best interest. And it literally was in his best interest. The only thing I would say that Cole could have done better, and I mean, granted, he's done this for a very long time, so not going to take him out of his process, but for most people watching this, when they're like, yeah, you see, the guy said, he was like, you said everything I don't even know yet. He's like, man, like, geez. And then at that point, instead of giving another tangent that Cole did, and then he was like, oh, so you're saying, why wait? And then he had another like hesitant like moment there where he was hesitating a little bit. And then he said, all right, let's just do it. Right? Once he's like, man, you said everything I didn't even know. Once he says that, he's like, man, and he was shocked, let it sit, be like, cool, man. So are you ready to get started? Or where do you want to go from here? And Cole could have closed them right then and there. Not that the next tangent wasn't beneficial or anything. It was short enough to, again, where it's not going to crush him, but a lot of people will just keep explaining value, and saying a bunch of pointless things, thinking they're adding value, and it gets to a point where that emotional buy-in, because all Cole did, because humans make decisions based on emotions and they compensate logically. All Cole did was get him to this emotional buy-in place where he can compensate logically. We don't make decisions based on logic. It's neuroscience. So he got him to a place where he was emotionally comfortable enough where it made sense and it felt right. Well, it felt right before it made sense. It felt right, and then he's compensating why it makes sense. The same reason why, like with peer pressure, somebody could be, hey, let's go out and drink tonight when you don't drink at all. And you're like, oh, I've never really drank, but these guys are my friends, and I haven't drank in a while. Like it's that emotional feeling where you feel obligated to do it that makes you compensate logically. It's exactly what Cole did for him, and he closed his deal. I mean, we can see the rest of it. I don't think there's anything else special.
And it's the greatest gift you can give to yourself, because there's two versions of yourself. There's yourself today, and then there's yourself in January and February. And what you're doing is like giving yourself a gift. So like when you go in January and February, you're not going to be a person that's thinking of getting their dating together. You're going to be a person that's actually already having progress on this and getting their dating together, and like actually already having momentum going in that year, so that you create this. So I'm really excited for that. So yeah, next steps are simple then. We simply book your onboard call with Nadia. So that's an extra session you get to meet her one-on-one. She's our lead wing girl. You might have saw her on the testimonial page. You'll get to meet her. She'll give you full access to the schedule, emails and stuff, so that you can coordinate with the wing girls, all of that stuff. Then we just get preferred payment method on file, and then go through a simple agreement and you're good to go.
And that's it. It's that simple. Again, I think a lot of people overcomplicate this process where they think it's supposed to be this elaborate word track that, well, why do you want to do this? And do you play all this other stuff? It was very, very, very simple, right? And even when Cole did go down to a somewhat of a word track, what really got him over the line was the challenge, right? Once he challenged him and challenged his perspective and asked him if that's a belief that's serving him, or made him see that's not a belief that's serving him, that's what got him over the line. At the highest level of the highest level, this is what objection handling looks like. It seems like Cole was just having a conversation. And a lot of people would have given up like 3, 4 uncertain moments where he said no twice directly. I want to start in January. I want to start in February. I want to start whenever. Cole did not falter. If you can take away anything from this video, there's 2 things. Constant neutral energy and challenge your prospects, but in a perspective where it's in their best interest, because humans will do what's in their best interest every single time. And that's why we don't close sales. Or well, you guys don't close sales. Or sales guys don't close sales. I've been there. Trust me, I've been there, where you're looking in your own benefit as opposed to looking in the benefit of the consumer, the prospect, and it needs to be in their best interest if you want to be consistent and have predictable income. Cole, great job when you see this.